Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Dan Blanchard with the Traveling Time with Dan show, where we mix travel with history and with leadership. And today, I am at the Springfield Armory in West Springfield, Massachusetts. What an amazing place this site is. There's so much cool history here. Let's get it going then. In 1777, General Washington was like, we need something, right? We need some kind of army. We need some kind of depot, arsenal. We need something. We're relying too much on the French for our weapons. They were relying on the English for the weapons. And if you know, in 1776, we're going to fight the English, right? The colonies are going to fight the English. Can't be relying on the English for the weapons. Relying on the French for the weapons, not such a good idea. But this place right here was a great place, and they picked it, right? You had a couple rivers down below for transportation, the Connecticut Rivers down below for transportation. This was enough inland when the English Navy couldn't really bomb us. And it's up on a hill overlooking the Connecticut River, so that not like the English could easily attack them here either. So this was a great place to create like an arsenal depot, and they did. And if you look, I mean, this place is just huge. There's just so many buildings around here as part of what later becomes the Armory under President George Washington. It later becomes an army. Now, I told you there was a lot of history here. Shays Rebellion takes place here. You could see this place is a museum. The entrance is right over there in the front. But Shays Rebellion, what was that all about? Well, here's the deal. You got a group of Western Massachusetts farmers, right? And they're really financially struggling. And the government's taxing them because the government's struggling too, right? You have the Articles of Confederation at this time. And the government's taxing them. They can't pay their taxes. They're hurting for money. So these farmers, Western Massachusetts farmers, they're going to rebel, right? They're going to rebel. And they're going to say, we can't pay the taxes, this government's being unfair, going to overthrow this Massachusetts government, because that's the way it worked back in those days. You didn't really have a national government because we were afraid of having a king and afraid of having like a powerful monarchy. So the government was kept weak on purpose, so you got just pretty much the states run everything. And you got the Massachusetts government, right? So these farmers, they decide that they're going to come over here to the arsenal, and they're going to overthrow the arsenal, and they're going to grab all the weapons here, and then the Massachusetts government is going to have to listen to them, right? Now, the rich get worried. They hire a bunch of militia and whoever else they can find that's willing to be paid to work, and they fight the Western farmers in the Shays Rebellion, and thank goodness they win, right? They're like, oh my gosh, we won. Now, they scared the heck out of people like George Washington and others. They're like, our Articles of Confederation is obviously way too weak, right? We can't have this. So this is actually going to usher in the United States constitutional government, and George Washington, as you know, is going to become the first president of the United States because of, one of the reasons, because of what happens right here, Shays Rebellion, right here at the Springfield Armory here in West Springfield, Massachusetts. Now, it's going to get interesting here. You're going to have a guy named Thomas Blanchard and Eli Whitney jump in the mix. Thomas Blanchard is no relation to me that I know of, all right? But he jumps in the mix. He's going to create the Blanchard lathe. And the Blanchard's lathe is going to be able to carve wood into abnormal figures, like axe handles, and the stocks of the guns, right? And he's going to mass produce the stocks of the gun. Eli Whitney, who everybody kind of knows for the cotton gin, right? The cotton gin. Eli Whitney, what most people don't know, or many people don't know, is that Eli Whitney also creates interchangeable parts for the guns. And that's going to allow them to mass produce, all right? Now, we already know this mass production helped out, win us wars. It helped us out, even if it was an arsenal depot or whatever. It helped us out with the Revolutionary War. But in the 1861, you have the Springfield model, and that's going to help us win the war against the South, all right? In World War I, you're going to have the O3, which is going to be considered one of the most sophisticated and finest weapons ever built, and the accuracy, and it's really, really good. World War II, we could have General Patton saying the M1, which is like the first semi-automatic. He says it's probably one of the best implementation war machines, killing machines he's ever met. And they're going to mass produce that M1 right here at the Springfield Armory. You're going to have 14,000 workers here. 14,000 workers here pumping out 200 M1s an hour here. You're going to have the first fluorescent, like one of the first fluorescent light bulbs in the U.S. These guys are working 24 hours a day during World War II. And this area of the Connecticut River is going to be called Gun Valley. It's going to be the gun capital of the world. It's going to be the hub of the Industrial Revolution. They're going to equip large armies, and up and down the Connecticut River is basically the gun capital of the world. In Vermont, right, the Robbins and Lawrence Armory is going to be one of the most technically advanced places in the world. Here, Massachusetts, Springfield, you're going to have this armory, right, that's popping out 200 M1s an hour to help us win World War II. If you follow the Connecticut River down a little further south, you run into Hartford, Connecticut with the coal factory. Keep following it south, and you're going to be in New Haven, right, where the Winchesters being mass-produced, and that's the weapon that won the West. This Gun Valley, gun capital of the world on the Connecticut River, is going to change the world, and it's going to be like a whole economic hub. It's going to be like Silicon Valley, except it's Gun Valley. Whole ecosystem here. It's gonna usher in mass production, the Industrial Revolution, and all those crazy things that go with it. It's going to develop the United States into a powerhouse, right? And here we are today at the Springfield Armory, National Historic Site as of 1974. It's closed like a museum now, and it has the largest collection of antique weapons in the world. It's right here, Springfield Armory. All right, now you know, I love to tell you to travel down here, check things out. I give you the history about it. And I always give you leadership, too. So what's the leadership? The leadership lesson here, I think, is power must balance order and justice. If you got too much power, you got oppression. If you got too little, you got chaos. And I think about what weapons stand for, the Shays Rebellion. You got to get that perfect mix, right, of power, not being oppressive, but not being too simple or too little, and chaos. So I think that's the leadership lesson, is that power must balance order and justice. All right? So, listen, this is Traveling Time with Dan. I appreciate you spending some time with me here today, where I mix travel and history and leadership. I'm going to be back real soon with another great episode. So stay tuned and keep your eyes open for me. Have a good one now. Bye-bye.